Listen up.
You are now listening to Inside the Nation Radio, brought to you by us, bringing you everything from current events to what's really happening in your bedroom. Turn up the volume.
Turn me up.
And let's discuss.
All right, we back again. Welcome back to Inside the Nation podcast. Me and all of my co-hosts, as y'all see. Tiara, what's going on with you?
None much. Feeling good. How you doing?
That's what's up. That's what's up. Rick, how you doing, bro?
Doing all right. Having an all right afternoon.
That's what it is, man. It's a good day. A good day to be alive. Tasha, what's going on?
Great, but too cold. Just too cold.
I've been waiting all year for the winter. I hate the summer. Winter come, bugs leave. Case closed. That's all we need. Darash, y'all don't get winter out there where you at, huh? California.
We had winter for like 2 days.
Lucky
2 days?
you. 2 days.
Now it's back to fall.
What was
no
it?
winter and it never rains in Southern California. All right.
You know what?
No. It rained.
It rained when I was out
3
there.
days.
I was out there one time, and this girl was like, "Oh man, it's raining hard outside." I went out there and I seen a mist. I'm like, man, she would have a heart attack in Florida or Georgia somewhere. I'm like, raining hard.
First
Good
off,
Lord.
when was this? This was like in the 80s or something.
Right.
This was
1962.
This was 2005. 2005.
enough.
It's been a minute
Close
since I've been
enough.
out there, but still. Hey, listen. Even in the 80s, a hard rain was a hard rain. It wasn't no bliss, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Hey, so we got some good topics for you, man. Segment number 1. We got some stuff we got to talk about, man. We got to jump in this, man. We got to get on this hookup culture, a.k.a. hookup culture. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going around, you know, and when Tiara, I'm going to start off with you, man. What is it about what we seeing now in today's society that just makes these women just say, "Hey man, I'm just gonna call it for what it is. Don't get offended. I'm gonna be a hoe and I'm proud of it." Grandma ain't teach you that?
No, grandma didn't teach him that. I feel like it's been a progression over time where slowly they are rolling in what they like to call sexual liberation, which really, it basically just translates to I can sleep with whoever I want, how often I want, where I can do what I want, basically do as I will. And if you as much as speak about it or try to talk to women about it, like, look, this isn't the way, you are demonized and you are jumped on. And what they don't realize is this is a poison to our community. And not only that, it's really impacting our relationships and our ability to connect with one another. It's a real problem.
Man, you know what I saw? I seen a sister sitting there in the mirror, you know, taking the back shot. All right, that's normal now. But the baby with the diaper, with the little tights over the diaper to pretend like it's a butt, taking the back shot with you. She can't even go pee on the Rick. She can't go. You can't even walk to the bathroom on your own. How are we dealing with this? How are we raising our children? This is
I'm
crazy.
not understanding. It really throws me off. Like I said, it's everything we're trying to do to teach freedom, but to teach really women to be like men. So it's like, all right, men get to sow their royal oats. Men get to kind of have their time. Like everybody we seen Coming to America, they'll sow your royal oats.
But men are naturally
like
better though, so we should be able to do that. I'm just playing.
I think
I'm joking. She want to have a fit over there.
Yeah.
Say that again?
Yeah. But that's what they got to do. Is like we got to do that. We got to create the equality because hey, we're all born the same. We're all made the same, and it's to force that equality. It's to force that foolishness that has never been true. So I mean, it just throws me off. It's so much I got on that, but
selective equality. Like, I want to be the same as a man, but I'm not taking no trash out. I want you to provide. I want you to do all the things that a man is supposed to do while nothing is required of me. And it doesn't make sense. It's not even realistic.
Now,
no,
mind you,
it's required. It's laying on the back. They're like, oh, okay, I'll lay on my back. You pay all my bills, I'll lay on my back.
now, mind you, I want to put this out here. Pick me Queen Tiara. They hate Tiara on Twitter for this exact reason. It's a conversation that a lot of men have, and men are not allowed to speak on this. It is a conversation that women have, and women are pick-me's when they speak on it. So it's a lose-lose situation because individuals just want to do what they want to do.
So true.
I brought out a point to women, and when I tell you, they drag me into the ground because the women we're speaking on, they get to sleep with whoever they want, naturally, how often they want, but then when they get married, they don't feel like they're obligated to sleep with their husbands.
So wait, you got beat up on social media?
Oh yeah, they told me up. Oh, they told me left, right.
She didn't get beat up. She got jumped.
I got defended. and I got like
they jumped her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was tearing me up. But my point was, so let me get this straight.
Yeah.
So you get to run wild in the streets and sleep with all these and just be loose. But then when you get married, then you feel like you don't have to sleep with the men you're going to be with for the rest of your life.
So
Nobody
wait,
told you to.
I'm sorry. Let me chime in right there. What is up with that mentality? I can go and sleep with the entire world. Matter of fact, I can go to work and my boss can tell me any and everything to do, and I'm gonna do it like a yes sir, master. I'm gonna do it, yes sir. I come home, my husband say, "Hey, cook me something to eat." I ain't your slave. You just went a slave for another man all day. Well, he paid me. What the hell did I do?
You know what it is? It's the fact that there's reciprocity. There's some type of get back. So it's like, okay, I'm sleeping with this man, but he's gonna buy me dinner. He's going to take me shopping. He's going to, wine and dine me essentially. And that's the exchange. So it becomes profitable for these women because that's the exchange. Now, when you get in a committed relationship and you're sharing your assets at that point, then it's like, oh, well, I ain't really getting nothing just solely for myself from this arrangement. Now I'm a slave.
Man,
What they don't even realize is when you actually pour into, your person and you bring something, you reap the benefits as well. It's like there's a disconnect mentally that they're missing.
That's what I always
they don't
say.
feel like they're receiving any benefits though. They really feel like they're given what is required. That's all I need to do. And the thing is, even with the whole point you made, as far as a woman will lay with all these dudes out there, and then when she gets married, she don't lay with her husband because the man that she marries is really the dude she don't want. She's not attracted to, doesn't desire, because let's call it what it is. Usually only a lesser man is going to want to take on this woman that has collected 100 to 1,000 bodies. He doesn't really want that. So that man that she desires, he's gonna be like, I'm gonna get a better choice than you.
You, sir, are going to be labeled a misogynist.
But in addition to that, they don't have
I'm just gonna throw it
anything
out
else
there.
to offer. They are taught to lead with sex and then have nothing else. So I think another issue is, and this is, I looked up the statistics, women who have the higher level of sexual partners you have, the more chance you are for your marriage to fail. So they don't know, they're not taught longevity in relationships. They don't know how to do anything other than sleep with these men. So then when you get into once you're married, they don't know what else they don't know what to do.
But let's be honest, our culture, quote unquote, is teaching us that's all you need now as a woman. And what they're seeing in music videos, they believe to be real life. So I see these men ogling these women with the big breast and the big behind. And that's what they want. And the only thing they see me as needing to be sexually attractive. You don't see them promoting marriages in music videos or how to be a good wife in music videos. These are the girls, let's make it clear, that they are probably going to have one night stands with and while their wife is at home. The music industry is not telling you that these men are married. So, and they're never going to flaunt or portray their wives on TV. Now they have started to do that more frequently, but a lot of these celebrities were married behind the scenes.
I can't remember where I saw this at, but it was somebody saying that same thing. They were using Cardi B, for example, because at the time she was married. It was like, yeah, she out there telling you, you know what I'm saying, that throw around your wop, but she's going home to her husband every night. See, because you think it's a reality. And I used this one time before, and I was talking about, I think, a couple podcasts back, we were talking about Tupac and Biggie. And Biggie saw Tupac, and I'm watching the interview. He said, I saw Tupac, and I'm like, man, what's up? What's going on with you? And Pac tells Biggie, man, it's all business, man. Ain't no real beef, yada, 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 right? I'm like, what? For real? So on that album, Life After Death, Biggie's rapping like, been in this since 92, so-called beef with who? Keyword, so-called beef, because it's not real. But here's the problem. East Coast, West Coast, all the people watching, they thought it was real. And that's the same thing what we see with Cardi B. She's going home to her husband, you know what I mean? But yeah, the little girls out here who she's teaching, because let's be honest. If you're an artist, you are a teacher. You're teaching these children to follow in your steps, and it's creating what we call, well, politically correct, the hookup culture, the whole culture. It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
And it's funny you should say that because there was a clip of her. She was starting to play her song, the WAP song. Her daughter walks into the room. She turns around. She said, "Ooh!" And
she hit that button so quick.
Wow.
What? So that goes to show you she's not allowing her child, even though this is her song, to listen to this type of music.
That's like the people with the jab. That's like the people with the jab not taking, their kids, not allowing their kids to take the jab because they know what's harmful and they're not taking part in it. They just giving it to you.
My issue is a lot of the women who partake in this whole culture, they're not being honest because they're unhappy, and it's obvious they're unhappy. When you are more promiscuous, you have higher chances of depression, anxiety. A lot of these women are lonely. They're increasing their risk of cancer. There's so much.
But why do you think that is, though?
What do you mean?
Like, so you promiscuous and you got, let's say, for example, you're depressed. Why are you so depressed? I have my theory. What do you guys think? Why do you think you're depressed?
Because women want to be with someone, and they right. lie and they deflect and they call women like me pick-me's when I say, no, we do need men. How we are going through our lives, it's not right. We need to get back to getting, finding our men and needing them and valuing them, because deep down, that's what they want. And I think a lot of them don't think it's possible. So they go the other way.
Wait, they call you pick-me's?
They call me a pick-me. Yeah, they call me the pick-me. I'm the queen of the pick-me.
The queen,
pick-me's and pick-me's.
I have a crown.
Hey, and the funniest thing about saying pick-me's and pick-me's is you're a woman, you should be trying to get picked. I thought that was the object of the game.
Right.
How is that not the object of the game? Like, hey, I'm out here, let me present myself beautiful, submissive, all of these great things so a man can choose me. But you have to remember,
you have to remember this. With the there's two trigger words, right? When we talk about these types of situations, when women talk about it, they are pick-me's. That's just pretty much to say, shut the hell up, we don't agree with you, I don't care what you're saying, even if you're making a lot of sense. A lot of women, because they go through cognitive dissonance themselves, because they're taught through music and TV, hoe around, sleep around, hook up, but internally, innately, women have a desire to be led. Women have a desire to be loved. Women have a desire to be wanted. That's naturally what they want, but they're also being programmed to do something else. So they're kind of having an internal fight.
Where's the programming coming? Where is that coming from? The programming.
So I said it in the last podcast. There's this thing called social engineering. And so basically what's going on is music and television are what's programming our children, and even all our less independent thinking adults. It's programming their minds to say, this is what I keep seeing, quote unquote, Black and Latino people doing.
But let's go even further.
Culture. This is us.
You did bring that up, social engineering. Okay, but where does that come from?
People like Leo Cohen.
Yeah.
You mean Lyle Cohen? Yeah, okay, right. Exactly.
The powers that be.
Exactly.
We say the red media.
Right. And it goes all the way back to what the whole issue that's going on right now with Ye and Kyrie, right? They're trying to tell you, hey, wake up, open your eyes. But like I said before, I'm proud that the community is now starting to see, oh, wait, you know what? They might be on to something.
In that regard.
Right. The Black family is destroyed. And, and here's the sad part. The white community might look over and say, hey, why you got to make it the black and white thing? Let's be honest. We're not making it a black and white thing. It just naturally is a black and white thing, because there are certain trials, tribulations, obstacles that has been put in the way of the Black community that was never put in the way of the white community. Now, let's be honest though. Are there people in the white community that have the same obstacles sometimes? Yeah, it's exceptions to every rule. Like, we're not saying it don't happen, but we're saying on a disproportionate level, the majority of it happens in the Black community. And now we are here talking about the hookup culture. Because
and you also have to look at targeting demographics, because you don't see that when you're watching shows, listening to music. It's not them that's doing it. It's us that's doing it. And you use certain races to target certain races, certain demographics. And to my point earlier, that's where you get pick-me's, which is a woman who's trying to tell women we need to kind of go back to traditional values because that's what's best for us. And for the men, they're naturally deemed, the Andrew Tates, Kevin Samuels, misogynists.
Yeah.
Those are the two words that they will use to try to dismiss or throw away what it is people are saying, even when it makes sense.
Right. Even like anti-Semitic labels.
That's
right. And it's coming from a certain level or a certain group of people. For example, like Rick, let me ask you this. So if can I convince you that I found $5 in your pocket?
No, if it's not there, no.
But it is there. But I found it in your pocket. You had $5 in your pocket, and I convinced
you found it in my pocket.
Yeah.
No, you can't, man. I don't know how. No.
Yeah, like, but that's what the same group of people have convinced the people of. Like, just for example, the world. We've convinced our children that a man found land that people have lived on for hundreds, if not thousands of years. That's the equivalent of me finding $5 in your pocket. No, damn it, I stole it. But if I can convince you of that, I can convince you of anything. I can put anything in front of you and make you eat it up. And now we're talking
basically
about the hookup culture.
Convince women that being masculine is what is going to be best for you, and convince men to be feminine and to never grow into masculinity, because masculinity is going to destroy the hookup culture. And we need the hookup culture to keep the people in the same place they are. Because we got to have the women ruling over the men.
And that's
we got to have them in that same space.
Now, I didn't think about it from that aspect. The masculinity will destroy the hookup culture. That's a great point. I like that.
And that's why I say, why be a skip meat when you could be a pick me? It's a compliment at this point.
I didn't know it was called pick me. It's new to me right now.
That's big.
It's like women try so hard to fit into this culture that they're doing it at their own detriment. So I just wanted to hit something really quick. There was a lady, for all of you women who are thinking about going to get these cheap BBLs, who went and got a BBL in another country, $3,500. She thought she was getting a steal. She got a tubby tuck and all this stuff along with it. And she woke up and essentially she was missing her kidney. The guy not only did everything she wanted, the BBL and everything else, but he took her kidney.
He needed payment.
Yeah,
additional payment.
The $3,500 was just a deposit.
The price was the full payment. Exactly.
Right.
And the thing about
the remainder of the balance.
And what's so sad about the BBLs is that the mortality rate. BBLs are actually the most deadly. The most deadly plastic surgery of all of them. Actually, surgeons will recommend you not get them, because if they make the slightest wrong move, you're dead instantly. That fat could go to your heart and or into your lungs, and you're out of here. So it's insane that women are risking their lives for these butts to take pictures on Instagram.
All right. Well, listen, that's the end of our first segment. Listen, if you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. On to the next segment, the backpedaling squad. Oh man, it's been a lot of what'd you call them earlier? Those best cornerbacks in the NFL or something like that.
Yeah, the best corners in the league, man. They call them the Darrell Reeveses, the Deion Sanders. That's what they do. They backpedal like it ain't nothing. Then they breaking on it. Soon as the culture says it's okay, soon as public opinion is swayed, it's like, oh, now I can say it's okay to go against what people are talking about. Because even when you heard Stephen A. all of a sudden come out, and this is just going into the Kyrie situation. All of a sudden he's saying he's being emasculated, even though he has been emasculated from jump. But now they're saying he's being emasculated from what he's doing, and we can't be doing that. That's too much. And it just blows my mind. It's like, okay, if it's wrong now, how is it wrong when they push the envelope? It's because now public opinion got so bad, and now they got to make it seem like they actually are with us, and they don't want to look too bad.
Yeah. They're meant to be our puppets, and the fact that they are getting the backlash that they're getting because people are jumping on them left and right. You should have saw them, and I've been looking at the little Twitter feeds, and they are jumping on their heads left and right, and they're just down the line trying to defend themselves. I think they understand that the public is not going to accept.
Oh God, Tiara, she's affected Tasha.
I'm so proud.
It's contagious.
Yeah, I call them.
I'm so proud.
I call them jellybacks. We got Tasha in the Twitter streets.
Oh man.
I think it's convenient that all of them, who we got, LeBron James, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Joe Tsai, Adam Silver, they're all coming out around the same time saying the exact same thing, which lets me know things didn't go the way that y'all thought it would.
Almost as if it may be scripted. Right?
Of course. Exactly.
Everybody's saying the same thing at the right time. Adam Silver, I'm so convinced that Kyrie Irving is definitely not anti-Semitic. And speaking about the word anti-Semitic, the word anti-Semitic itself is deception. It has been created to deceive. That was put in place to keep you from further educating yourself on what history may have actually been trying to tell you the entire time. So not
only that, it's a scapegoat. And there's been a number of interviews that have come out with Jewish individuals. They have said, anytime that we come across situations where we feel threatened, we'll throw out the term, talking about Jewish people, we'll throw out the term anti-Semitic. from that particular point on, we freeze it all. That's their
Wow.
go-to for everything, because even in this particular situation, you're talking about, oh, Kyrie posted something that was harmful and anti-Semitic and blah blah blah. Mind you, everyone who said something about it, most of them hadn't even seen the documentary. A lot of them said, oh, he said some hurtful things. LeBron said that he said some he said some. How did he word it in his interview? He hurt a lot of people with what he said, bro. He didn't say anything.
But I'm thinking, what did he even say?
Nothing.
Hey, but
And
get
it
this
was so
though.
cold. Go ahead.
But really quickly, I'll give you right back. But get this, during the time while everybody's sitting here talking about the link that he posted and the book, Hebrews to Negroes. So during this time, the book about Hitler and all his works is still sitting on Amazon freely, selling hundreds, if not thousands, of copies.
Right.
No one's saying anything about that though. Mind Camp.
Of course.
And they're trying
What?
to get it taken down. They're trying to get Hebrews to Negroes taken down, but then they're not trying to get Hitler's books taken down. And it's like, okay.
Right.
They're not going to take it down. It's number 1, number 2, and number 5, because it's
Jeff
3
Bezos
parts.
about his dollars. Jeff
Woo.
Bezos about his
Hey,
dollars first and foremost.
Thank you. And then you know what? They keep saying, well, why isn't Jeff Bezos being punished? You know
Hello.
why? Because money talks. It's
Exactly.
capitalism. Jeff Bezos is right now in negotiations. He's trying to get the Phoenix Suns. So if he's trying to get the Phoenix Suns and he's trying to get streaming rights, exclusive streaming rights for the NBA on his platform, you think they're gonna mess up that bag?
Isn't it
He
him
got,
and Jay-Z
he got a lot
together?
of money to even be able to do that.
Aren't him
and-
That just shows you how much money he has.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
aren't
he's
him
going
and
for an
Jay-Z in
NFL
business?
team. Yeah, for an NFL team. They're going for the Warriors. What is it? What is it? Him and JC are going for the Washington
Let's say-
Commanders. Correction.
Yeah, Commanders. Let's
Oh,
say
really?
Warriors.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, man, what Steph Curry finna play
Sorry.
quarterback? Like, what's going on?
Works like that.
No,
So
but-
I
like
had to
that.
look at my notes.
But to the point of the backpedaling team, this is what Adam Silver said. I personally, based on what he said directly to me, have no doubt that he is not anti-Semitic. Now, he has said in a number of his interviews, I cannot be anti-Semitic. He has said in a number of interviews,
Right.
I'm not promoting anything. I just shared a clip. So you guys drug him through the mud and then realized everybody was like, well, you know what? He seems like he's kind of making some sense. And then you realize that this didn't go as you planned. And now Adam Silver is backpedaled. LeBron James, matter of fact, LeBron James' tweet is right here. It says, I told you guys that I don't believe in sharing hurtful information. James posted on Twitter echoing the comments. And I'll continue to be that way. But Kyrie apologized and he should be able to play. So go ahead.
Now they're talking about and I started to get the clip, but I didn't. Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless on Undisputed.
Yep.
Skip is like, well, his apology wasn't sincere. Oh, well, so now he's basing. Oh, well, he lying now. You asked for an apology, he give you an apology. Now all of a sudden it's not sincere. But yeah, what's her Martha Stewart? What's the other one who will always cry when she got caught calling her workers the N-word and she
Oh,
never
Paula
dropped a
Deen.
tear. Paula Deen.
Paula Deen. Yeah.
I've never seen a person cry so much without dropping one tear. Not one tear ever fell from her face. But yet that was sincere. So no. You requested or demanded an apology. He gave you an apology. But guess what? The Nets are still saying, oh, it's not enough. It wasn't sincere. So now we're still gonna extend. Oh, his suspension was extended.
Exactly. And what
Was it?
Yeah.
Skip,
No, not just that. They actually said after his suspension, they said that he has a timetable now to actually fulfill these things, or he's going to be removed from the team. So I actually took it
Wow.
a step further from what I read, unless it's something messed up.
Go ahead, Tasha.
Shannon Sharp, though, he went back and he kind of said, okay, well, I feel like now with them demanding the fact that he still has to complete this to-do list, this laundry list of things, they're taking it too far. And you know what? Skip went back and told Shannon, but you were the one who said his apology was unsincere.
Right. He did bring that up. And I will say this, Skip
Slapped him.
Yeah, Skip will come in. You said it yourself it wasn't sincere. But Shannon did say, well, I may have said it wasn't sincere, but at the same time, the requirement was not for it to be sincere or none. It was just for him to actually say it. Now, is Shannon jumping on his backpedaling? Hey, Rick, is Shannon backpedaling like the prime Deion Sanders here?
Man, yes, he is. Like I said, he covers 2/3 of the earth. That's what he does. Just like Deion. Like my man was, he went all the way back, and it's really bad when the same people that are coming at Kyrie are the ones now making our own people look bad by telling them, hey, you said this, just, you know what I'm saying? They pointing out your own hypocrisy in your, how can I say it? In your cocooning. They're just straight up, you doing all of that, and they backing you up in it. They calling you out on it, and it's just funny to me.
Yeah. I mean, Skip, he really did hit him with that one. I'm not gonna lie, I would have been like, well, yeah. See, like what I'm gonna say, you get stuck because that's why when you speak, you gotta walk meticulously because they're watching you. People are watching you, and people are going to bring up what you say later on. Now, that's not to say that you can't have a change of heart, though, is it? Is it okay to have a change of heart?
It's not. But like Joe said, I can tell you're lying. Stutter, and my man was straight up. Yeah.
He was stuttering up a storm. But you know what I realized too, while Charles Barkley was going so hard, because I was like, okay, everybody wasn't really. They were like, Charles Barkley is known to do this. Shaq, not so much. Yeah. So 2 reasons I wanted to dig a little deeper because I wanted to find out if there was some type of connection, some type of background, why they would say the things they said. Charles Barkley's daughter, his only daughter, is married to a Jewish man.
Get out of here. What?
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yes,
what?
his name.
Not far-fetched.
Hey, pull back the curtain, man. Pull back the curtain.
He's a violinist. He plays the violin. His name is, what is it? Her name is Christiana, and the husband's name is Ilya, I think it is Hoffman. Ilya Hoffman.
Oh, he's Jewish. Hoffman.
Yeah, Jewish.
Oh.
Well, I don't care what he does. What does his parents do? That will tell you something.
See, now that I don't know, but I know they went through the ceremony, the Jewish ceremony for the marriage because they signed the documents, and then they also were married by a rabbi. So,
well, Shaq and Charles Barkley, they actually pretty good friends. They got a good relationship. So maybe that's why Shaq was saying what he said as well. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, I think the disappointment is way more in Shaq than it is Charles Barkley because Shaq is perceived as a big guy, friendly guy, loving guy who loves to help people. And I'm gonna be honest. Now, people get mad when I say this. I'm just gonna be honest. I think Shaq was going along. Y'all heard? Yeah, I remember Kwame Brown used to say to get along, to go along,
get along.
I think he got a small dose of the go along to get along gang a little bit, But I expect more from Shaq. I respect Shaq, his word and things that he do. And again, as when we had Aries Spears on here last week when he said Charles Barkley's mind and his mouth plays Marco Polo with each other.
When Charles Barkley speaks, it's like his mind and his mouth is playing Marco Polo. They find each other.
You expect that from him. Like, you expect Charles Barkley to say something to anything. It's almost like Charles Barkley or Charleston White. It's kind of on the same, like, you got to kind of be careful what you're taking in.
Man, Charles Barkley divested already. So I already knew, like, he already went outside and was married to another race. It just, certain things you already know, you're going to side with the people that's raising your child.
Be careful
Either way,
because you got people like Candace Owens that still try, again, she has some questionable things, but she's always trying to speak for the Black community in a positive light. So
right.
It depends. It definitely depends.
Right. Yeah. I will say that Candace Owens, like, we had New Breed. We did an interview with New Breed from his website, newbreed.love. Guys, make sure you check it out. And he covered Candace Owens, and he did an awesome job because he showed how she's actually going to bat for the Black community, for women, trying to get women to wake up out of this mindset. Don't be in this whole culture, hookup culture, whatever the culture you want to call it, and showing how that our Black men are actually being attacked on a higher level than people want to actually admit. So I do appreciate it about her. That now the other stuff I can't so much say. I don't know. Yeah. But that
she said some fire. I've heard her say some stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen her on different little platforms where she's collaborated, and she spoke on how Black men get done, how Black women carry themselves, and so I've definitely watched that stuff play itself out.
But she has her. I was gonna say she has her own podcast where she 100% supported Kyrie, but this is my honest question. Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, right? Mm-hmm. If he said I had a conversation with Kyrie, and we've already established he's apologized. I had a conversation with Kyrie Irving, And I am 100% sure now that this man is not anti-Semitic. Why are we still going through these stupid why are we still going through this process? Why does he still have to go through this avenue in order to get back to
Because
play
I think
ball?
it's coming from the Nets, not the NBA. I think the Nets owner has
but that's
that
my thing. Well, here's the thing. Commissioner of the whole NBA should trump how the owner is. If
I don't think he has the power to do so. I think it's certain powers they give the commissioner.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying like, okay,
Man,
as
would
the
think
owner, as the
I'm sorry,
owner,
my bad.
No, all good. So as the owner, right? I'm like, okay, you know what? Adam Silver, he's Jewish. He just said he doesn't think it's anti-Semitic. A number of other people are coming out to say that. Maybe I should take a step back and think about this.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still making him go through all of these loopholes just jump through these hoops just to play the game again. And it's like
power.
I truly believe that's what it is.
When he was supposed to bow down.
I truly believe that.
So there was a post that was put up on Twitter recently in the last 24 hours where they said they're going to continue the suspension because they want to embarrass him and they want to make him a martyr.
They are sunning him.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No. Let's just call it what it is. They call it modern day lynching, just like what happened with Colin Kaepernick. That's exactly what they want to do. Let's continue to, because some people already don't like Kyrie, obviously because of LeBron James. It's a lot of our people that are against him. So they already talk bad about him and think he's selfish, think he's a certain way. So that public opinion, again, is huge. And Adam Silver, I'm gonna be honest, I think he sat back quietly at first to see how our people thought. And we seen our people talking about he should be suspended and he's so bad. And he's like, oh, let's suspend him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's go ahead and do it.
You know why that's facts, Rick? You know why that's facts? Because initially Adam Silver didn't say anything, and it was Charles Barkley who was calling out Adam Silver, saying you should have done more. He should have been suspended already. So you're 100% right. But go ahead. I just want to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, that was it. I was just saying, like they had to watch and they had to see our reaction. Like, okay, if we lynch him, will they jump in? What will they do? And then they was like, oh, we're getting away with this. They're going for it. So let's push the envelope. And they pushed it a little too far. And then they seen more pushback from us. So there's like, all right, let's slow down a little bit. But let's sit back and I think they still gonna sit back and wait and see if we'll do anything, if we'll stand up, or if we're gonna fold like a lawn chair, as Tierra says.
They want to see if we keep our attention on the situation.
That's definitely it. That is definitely it. So I mean, there we have it. You got the backpedaling squad. What was that list? You had an entire list over there. Everybody who was backpedaling. Tierra, we know it was Shannon Sharp. We know it was.
I had LeBron, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith, Joe Tsai. I don't know if it's Tsai or Ty, and then Adam Silver are the ones that I had.
Joe Ty is his name. That's the Nets owner.
TSAI.
The TSA. Is it like General Sal, like General Sal chicken or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, like the T is silent. So I guess it's Joe Tsai.
But Jason Tatum and what's the other
Jaylen Brown? I know Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown. No, not initially.
Well, yeah, not initially. They are. I think they're feeling a little backlash.
I'm putting them on a backpedaling squad too.
Yep, they are as well. That is the end of. That's the end of the segment. We have to move to the next segment. Hey guys, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button if you have not done so already. Hit that like button. Help us get an algorithm. If you like what you're hearing, if you like it and you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. The Black Massacre. Oh, my God. How many of these have we had throughout history? We've had several.
So many.
Too many.
I mean, it
just depends on what
they got a whole
about.
list. I remember having an actual list of like all the ones that was in the different cities where they all took place. So I remember, and it was just like, wow, it's amazing to me.
And Darash, you say that it depends on what type you're talking. Well, I'm putting them all together. I think they're all the same things. They're just like one is physical, one is social, one's mental, spiritual.
Absolutely.
But they're all Black massacres. And the Black massacre we're dealing with right now is, if you're not familiar, Stacey Abrams. Why is this a Black massacre? Why are you even referring to this right now?
That woman's a character. Go ahead, Tierra.
We know that Miss Stacey Abrams was running for the governor of Georgia.
Yes.
And here's my issue with it. About maybe a week and a half before, when she realized that she was losing, her and her cohorts, they evidently had to come together to come up with a plan to where if she loses, we're going to blame Black men. So she took to say, and this was her quote, "Unfortunately, this year, Black men have been a very targeted population for misinformation, not information about what they want, but about what they deserve." And then you have the former Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms. She took to the news to say something similar. And then right after we had the Howard University chapel speaker, another Black woman, mind you, these are all Black women, who said, a demon of misinformation is making male Black voters in Georgia willing to support Warnock, but not Stacey Abrams. Here's the kicker. She did indeed lose. But what's interesting is 93% of Black women voted for her and 84% of Black men voted for her. Black men were not the reason why she lost. But what's interesting to me is, why is it that Black men always end up being the scapegoat? Regardless of the situation, they're always blamed. Even when it was proven statistically, Black men were not the reason that she lost.
Well, should we even come on with the segment? Case closed. Case closed. But what is that? What is it? What is it about what this culture, this society has done to Black women to make them make allegations against the Black man on every level possible? It's always an accusation.
Off top, what they got to do is they got to create that mindset, the mind frame from women that they are against us, that we are in competition with each other, that we're trying to outdo each other. So since we're trying to outdo each other and start to work together, it's got to be like, okay, they are oppressing me just like the same people that brought us into this land on ships. So the Black man is still trying to oppress me by not even voting for me. The Black man is trying to oppress me by trying to tell me to be quiet and get in the kitchen. He's trying to oppress me by telling me to watch the children. So he doesn't want me into a higher position. It all goes in, and it kind of, I hate to say it, it goes hand in hand with the hookup culture, actually, in a lot of ways. Yeah. We don't want to admit that, it does. But it does. If you create this sense of independence from him, sense of competition, that he's against me, and since he's against me, everybody, let's rally together and fight against the Black man who is supposed to be my teammate, but we going against each other. It creates a crazy dynamic in our heads.
You know what this reminds me of? When I was in college, I was going to a junior college out in Texas, about 2 hours east of Dallas, right? Called Ranger Junior College. A little small, itty bitty college. And we were out there, and I'm in the gymnasium, finna watch a basketball game. The visiting team, I'm right on the bleachers, the stands, and they got to come out the tunnel. And we were waiting. The home crowd, the home team's already out there. The visiting team is about to come out. But right before they came out, everybody was like, oh. You know how it go when something going on. We look over the stands. They in there fighting, boom, boom, boom. Like the team, they fighting each other. And I'm talking about they was getting it in too. Like, what the hell is going on with them? Yeah. Needless to say, they got out there and got blown out. It was no competition. It was they literally got massacred. Why did they get massacred? Because they were not on the same page. And this is what this is doing to the Black family. The Black man is getting accused by the Black woman. The Black man gets frustrated with the Black woman, and then he may accuse back, and it just goes back and forth. And this is what's happening. Therefore, our chemistry, our teamwork, nothing works. Therefore, our children are off because we are off.
And for those that are trying to bring us back together or bond us back together, they get the label of a pick-me or a misogynist, because they're trying to bring back the original roles, because everyone knows this. Abiyah has played organized sports. I'm sure Rick has played organized sports. If everyone executes their role properly, you have a successful team. It's the exact same thing in the community. If the men are executing their roles the way that they're supposed to, properly and perfectly, and the woman is doing the same thing, then that is a community, a race, or whatever you want to call it, of people that are going to flourish. And so they keep us divided. Go ahead.
Darash, they made reference, Keisha last bottom, when she had her segment on a CNN or wherever she was. And the point that she was making is, okay, my children, my young Black male sons are looking at YouTube, and they're seeing Stacey Abrams being talked about in a bad light. Now, I went on to this man's thing, and he normally goes live and he talks about politics a lot, especially in Georgia. What he was saying was not attacking Stacey Abrams. What he's been doing is rallying young Black men and saying that politicians, specifically Democrats, can no longer just have our votes. They need
right.
Exactly. With tangibles. Tell me what you can do for me. And because when Stacey Abrams was asked, what are you going to do for us? She started stuttering.
She had no tangibles.
And it's crazy because I was watching something, it might have been MSNBC, but that was one of the points that was being made. They were like, Democrats have this this history when they lose the election to blame the African American voters.
Right.
When a lot of times African American voters are out voting, they're just not voting for that particular individual. Exactly to the point that you're making. It's because you expect us to vote for you because we're Black, but you're not giving us anything. And I think it might have been in Atlanta specifically. I'm sorry, in Georgia specifically, that there was some promises that were placed out. I think they said if you vote for me or if you vote Democrat for this particular election, then everyone's going to get $2,000. And then all of a sudden that just kind of just poof disappeared. So they would also make empty promises, not that they wouldn't give you tangibles, but they would also make very specific promises that they would not deliver on as well. So African Americans are like, hey, well,
maybe she said that, what she's going to do for them. What can you do for us? Maybe it was something she told somebody secretly, like, hey, I'm going to twerk for you. Because that's what Black women do. I'm going to twerk for you and I ain't going to do nothing else.
Oh my God.
Listen, her campaign, first of all, it was gross. And I feel like it was counterproductive. Like she was seen at Lotto, female rappers concert, campaigning and promoting abortion. Basically what they said was she was campaigning for everybody except Black men. And there was a really big lack of accountability on her part because, one, you just didn't run very well. Right. You had nothing to offer. But what gets me is it's like their lack of respect and their underlying disdain for Black men really came seeping out of the crevices once she realized that she was going to lose. Because if we're being honest, you don't like Black men. And I would even go to say that a lot of these women, they hate them. So she couldn't even hide it. She couldn't even wait until she lost the election.
Well, that's what that independent
she started
thing
throwing
creates.
them under the bus.
Yeah, that's what that independent thing creates. It creates, I can do what you can do. I can put on pants the same way you can put on pants. So I don't need a man. And that not needing a man does grow into not liking a man. Now, as far as Black men are concerned, when it comes down to voting, I'll tell you up front, I do not get into politics. I don't deal with politics. But why? I have my reasons. But here's one of the reasons also. How foolish, now this is what I think. Maybe you have a different thought process. How foolish can you be? I think it's just as foolish to let somebody convince you. It's as foolish as when you let someone convince you that they found $5 in your pocket and you don't think they stole it. It's the same way with these elections. You have people show up every 4 years, every 2 years, tell you the same lies, every 2 years, every 4 years, the same lie. We're going to change Washington. You know what I mean? And what do? You run to the polls. You stand there, for 10, 12 hours trying to get a vote in that probably never got counted in the first place. And if it did, it didn't matter anyway. And then the same thing happens. Then another politician shows up and says, hey, we're going to change Washington. And then you run back over there and do the same thing. When do we actually see the change? Because everybody's making the change.
But even on a smaller scale, Abiyah, even on a smaller scale, because, people will sit there and argue, well, it's not just Washington. Okay, cool. I'm going to change.
Well, I was using Washington as an example, but yeah.
But I'm going to change this state and the situation that we're in.
Right.
And it's always an empty promise.
Always.
Every time.
Right.
Always.
But what really quickly, who always comes out rich when the term is over? Who benefits?
Oh, politician. That's why they run. Y'all
Right.
Politicians are sociopathic liars.
Politicians are what do you call them? The prosperity preachers. That's what politicians are. They're carnal, worldly prosperity preachers. They tell you a bunch of lies. They get a bunch of money. They benefit. You still catch the bus. That's if buses run through your city. If not, you walking. But they're driving nice cars.
So basically, they're just like the best motivational speakers out there, pretty much.
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I call them motivational speakers.
I think Joel
Motivation
Osteen got
speakers
them
they're trying to get you to go up. Politicians are trying to get you to trick you to make me go up. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I get the point that you're making though. They talk well and people fall for that nonsense.
Right. And the crazy part is with this particular individual that we're referring to, they asked her about, what are her plans? I don't remember how they worded it, but basically what is her plans when we're dealing with, these economic trials that we're dealing with now. And she said, this is on MSNBC, quote, abortion is an economic issue, not culture issue. Women who are forced to carry unwanted pregnancies end up in poverty and on food stamps within 5 years. Then she proceeds to talk about like the middle class, but then she circles back around to this exact point again, basically saying abortion is an economic problem. So if people are not ready to have children or they feel like they're not financially stable enough, we need to make sure that we're pushing healthcare, aka abortion, for these people to be able to have.
Let me tell you this. No. So I can't believe that was even stated.
Wow.
So nothing was mentioned about the universities, the college, inflations. Go get a degree, and you can come out making $25,000 a year. Although your degree costs you $100,000. Of course, I'm playing with the numbers, but my wife, got a master's and everything, and it costs about $100,000, right? Now, here's the kicker. The job, it was a decent paying job, but the job wasn't what put us in the position to be able to pay that thing off and live like we wanted to live.
Right.
It wasn't the degree. You know what? Kind of really maybe use it sometimes, don't have to use it at this point. So we have a system set up that brainwashes us into an American dream of going to school and getting degrees that cost you anywhere from $100,000, sometimes more, depending on what you're doing. But you come out making not even half that much with all the other debt that you're coming out in. And we're saying that, was she saying that abortion was the problem? No, the
Abortion is
system
an
itself
economic
is the
issue.
problem.
Right.
Hey, Dr.
Chicken
Umar
is
said that.
$100 a pound. Chicken's $100 a pound. Organic mayo is $15, and all you want to talk about is killing babies.
Wow.
But
Now, to be fair, she spoke on, she didn't, how would I say, she didn't emphasize it, but she kind of touched on those too, but she doubled back and then circled back around to the abortion issue.
that
And
was a
that's
priority.
what stuck, right. That's what stuck
That's
out
the
to me,
issue,
because
yeah.
I'm like, you touched on some of the other stuff, but you then literally made a whole U-turn, came back on the block, and we got back to abortion again and had a whole conversation about that. And I'm just like,
I mean, she
that's
got a U-turn
beyond me.
back to the feminist agenda. Let's go ahead and do that.
Maybe that's
my
what
choice.
that's got to be
Hey,
what it
women,
was.
empower yourselves, especially Black women. Empower yourself not emancipate yourself. That's the word I want.
Right. Now think about
Financially,
this. Think about this.
emancipate
Now,
yourself.
whenever attack is placed on the Black community, and I'm calling it an attack because essentially that's what it is. Whenever an attack is placed on the Black community, abortion, destroying the families, rap music, all of this type of stuff, who do they use to go out and do it?
Us.
Us.
As puppets.
They use us as puppets. And you think about all of those experiments that they did back in the day, like the Tuskegee experiment. It was Black people. It was a Black nurse that they used to convince the Black people to take it, because the Black people back in that time, they didn't have a lot of trust for white people just because they knew the history, right? So what they did, they went and got a Black nurse to convince these people, hey, let them do this. They're going to, these are the type of things that that happens. And we still see that to this day. So now we have a politician who keeps doubling down on abortion.
And
What's
that's
the
why I
motive
said
behind
that.
it?
And they don't like when I say it, but Black women have been the powers that be number one weapon against the Black men in destroying
Yes.
our community. And we have to take some accountability for that. They've been using us and playing the same tricks over and over and over again. At what point are we going to be like, okay, enough? You can't use us anymore.
I think
It
it's
But
sounds like
Black
a Garden of
men-
Eden trick. That's
No,
what it sounds like. The
but
Garden
Black
of
men
Eden.
aren't protecting Black women, and so now we start fighting and playing the blame game, because Tierra is absolutely right. But the deflection to that is, well, Black men are not being true leaders. Black men are not being true providers. But it's impossible to protect and provide for a group of individuals that don't want to be protected and provided for,
And
because
don't
when you
need
try
you.
to do this right, and they say they don't need you, exactly.
Right. So let me present the question to you, Tasha. I mean, do you feel like the Black man protects and provides?
I like the way you threw it at me. Yes, I do.
I was gonna say, now be careful with what you say.
Hey, he don't cut off my bank account. I'm just playing.
But I thought Aries Spears made a very good point. And it's something I've heard you say before as well. Black men want to be respected.
Yes.
Nowadays, they're teaching us not to respect our Black men,
Right.
and that they're less than us, and that we should at every turn scold and criticize our Black men. If we do not uplift our Black men, because they look at us for support and uplifting. When they've had a hard day, sometimes all they want is a hug. And that makes them feel really, really good. As Black women, if you know your man is going out and being beat up in the world, it's your responsibility to come home and help uplift him.
That is a powerful point. I think I really hope that's a point that our women start to understand more, because I can go outside and get a million good jobs, but it's nothing like a great job coming from the woman that you have at home. That's the end of that Black Massacre segment, and we are on to the next. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button. We have to address this one. Skit gone wrong. Let me start off. So let's understand something really quickly. This is a podcast, right? We're a podcast. We want to talk. We talk about current events. We're talking about. We conduct interviews. We like to have fun. We want to go over certain things, and that's the gist of this podcast. Now, when we have guests that come on, sometimes guests may have stipulations. Sometimes they may not. Sometimes we may wait until another time. It just depends. You don't know the situation. But we want to address one of our guests, our previous guests, because we got some questions. Hey, Abiyah, why do you ask Aries Spears about that skit? You know, and it was more than one. Why do you ask him about the skit? Oh, well, he's facing allegations and facing charges and all of those type of things, right? Well, let's clear this up, and then I'm gonna pass the mic. He's not facing charges. There are no allegations. The case was actually thrown out. And it was thrown out with prejudice. Do we know what that means, with prejudice? All right, with prejudice, which means it can't even be refiled. It's done. It's gone. It's done. Now, am I saying that what the skit, was it in poor taste? Yeah. I think he knows that too. I think everybody who's seen the skit knows it's in poor taste. But just if we want to speak about the facts, the facts are this: there are no allegations or charges. Even the person making the allegations backpedaled and took those back and made a completely different statement. So
that person was on the backpedaling squad?
That the person was also on the backpedaling squad, like Prime Dion. You know what I mean? So we didn't feel the need to go into that. Why? Now I really want to paint a picture for the community. At a time where the first time in our history that we've seen so many of our people starting to get on one bandwagon and come together and ride for each other and start supporting and kind of seeing eye to eye, it's a start. Well, at Inside the Nation, we don't want to be the one to plant a seed to start pulling apart again, because I think he knows, hey, I shouldn't have did that. You know, when I asked him a question, I was like, hey, listen, what's the one thing you regretted? He felt that he knew what was going on, and he talked about it, and but we didn't really go into detail on it. It was that and some other interviews he talked about. But but we have to be careful too. Let's present facts. And a lot of this. Now I want to put this out as well. I'm gonna pass the mic. A lot of guys, you got to realize, a lot of your favorite actors or favorite shows and things of that nature, they did the same thing. There was some skits or some statements or some things that were made concerning children, but a lot of you guys still watch those things. It probably went right over your head and you didn't even pay attention to it, right? If I say, hey, who likes The Rock? Dwayne Johnson. Oh, yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, but he's actually involved in one of those things as well, and people don't know about that. You guys aware of that?
Yeah.
I've never seen the one with The Rock. I'm waiting to hear what that is.
Yeah. Definitely one with The Rock.
What I think is connected to is the whole Kyrie situation. When you step out of line, i.e. attacking Lizzo, who is supposed to be our golden girl. This is who we're promoting right now. And you have the audacity to come out and speak against our agenda to push and promote obesity. We are going to slap you or punish you. Mm-hmm. And you notice that situation came out after he spoke out about Lizzo. So they were searching. We gonna search and search. You know how old that
That's a good
was?
point. I didn't even think about that. That was
I actually didn't either.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, dang, hey, on some real stuff, like, because they went hard about that, wanting to cancel him off of that, because the whole agenda, especially within the last year and a half, is body positivity. Positivity, no body shaming women that are 400 pounds. Like, you don't gotta shame them, they're shaming themselves. Like, all you gotta do is watch the roll on their stomach. You like, oh, okay, yeah. They're doing their own shaming. So we can't say body shaming.
Right. Now I will say this. I did cancel him. I did I agree with what he said concerning Lizzo. Does that mean that plus size women are not beautiful women? No, that wasn't the point that I got from what he said. The point that I got from what he said was that, myself, I'm not, if I'm like, you know, a little bit overweight or a little bit, you know, I might not be able to wear my shirt off like, you know, prime Mike Tyson, who's chiseled, you know, he might probably walk out. If you know you don't have that body type, stop putting it out there. And his point was that you're at a Lakers game, half naked, bending over, doing all type of crazy in front of children. Now, here's the problem with this. People are really upset about, you know, well, he did this with the kid. Yeah, it was in poor taste. I agree. I'm not defending that. You know, I don't think he tries to defend it anymore. He knows it's wrong, right? Should have been done differently. But with that being said, when he said something about Lizzo, you guys are completely overlooking the fact that she has done a lot of inappropriate things in front of children. Why is there why is it like more weight on his shoulders than hers? What's up?
More weight? Well, I
mean,
she has more weight than him.
The Black Massacre.
And he's a big guy already.
Yeah, because I think my thing about it is there's that accountability factor where we're in a place in society where women can kind of do whatever and it remains unchecked and nobody can really say anything. But if a man steps out of line, now we have to humble you because you cannot speak against us. And the comedian Ryan Davis, he made a good point, and he said he feels like a lot of these skits that were done, Scary Movie 2, there was a pedophilia scene in it. Scary Movie 3. Dave Chappelle also
really quickly,
if
you don't know about the Scary Movie 2, it's the Michael Jackson scene that was in there with the kids and everything. So that's why I say you may have seen these things and it kind of went over your head because, you thought it was funny. And that's one point Ryan Davis points out. The reason Aries Spears got ousted was, one, because people didn't think his was funny. And like what Tasha just stated, two, this came after him publicly saying something about the Lizzo, and that wasn't accepted well. But go ahead, Tiara.
That is true. I was going to say Scary Movie 2 also had a scene with a possessed child where something really weird and vulgar was going on. Nobody said anything.
Nothing.
Dave Chappelle himself has had at least 3 pedophilia jokes that I remember the one. I was like, I cringe, but everybody was laughing. And like Ryan Davis was saying, as long as it's funny, all is forgiven.
Right.
Everything is okay. And there's a lot of hypocrisy there because I've heard, now that I think about it, several things that has been said regarding children that should be out of bounds that nobody's saying anything about.
Right.
So he does absolutely have a point.
Right.
Hey, can I throw something out? Even the Lakers game, can it be considered pedophilia if a woman is showing her ass on Jumbotron for everybody to see, that little boys, little girls? Is it okay for little boys to see grown women like that, or little girls?
Well, that's the point.
That's the point I was making. She's a woman.
Right. Yeah, that's the point I was making.
At the very least, indecent exposure.
But
I'm seeing that she twerked at a playground. Now, I don't know if any kids were at the playground, but the fact that you got your behind out and you're twerking at a playground is enough. Somebody needs to start holding these women accountable who do these things in public places and around children. I've seen in the Twitter streets women who have their breasts showing through their shirts, like they don't have no covers. It's like just a mesh shirt. They're out in public like this. One went to a playground. Why are no charges being filed? These women need to be on pedophile on the list.
Tiara, really quickly, Tiara, you keep mentioning these Twitter streets now. You ain't for the Twitter streets, are you? Because you always tell me Twitter streets.
I'm not for the Twitter streets, but I'm for the Twitter streets because I champion for my brothers and my people on the Twitter streets.
All right, and that's called a pick me.
Yep, I'm a pick me.
All right, she's a pick me. Okay, cool.
I'm supposed to be insulted, but I've taken it as an identity, and I'm the CEO of the Pick Me headquarters. I love it.
I don't think you're the CEO, but you might definitely be like just below that. You
Can
could
I
probably
at least be the COO?
Maybe COO.
You're a supervisor. You a supervisor. He being nice.
Wow.
I would say that because there's a couple of other you just kind of like moving up in the pick me. Right? There's a couple of others that are like full blown pick me, and some of them are of a fair skin complexion. So by default, they have to be above you. So
they don't count.
If y'all don't know what the pick me's are and her ranking the pick me's, if you're completely lost right now, she's just simply saying she stands up for black men on Twitter, and she has been nicknamed the pick me because they're saying she's just trying to pick me to be your wife. And that's sad that if you stand up for the black man, you have to get labeled in a negative way. But, you turn into a positive. So
it's sad if you present yourself in a way that a man would desire that you be labeled to pick me. Because a lot of them they'll hide it with, those women really aren't like that. They're just trying to say that to hook a man. And then they really ain't going to be that. Well,
They're
that's
weak.
on them. At the end of the day, if you're presenting what men like, then that's okay, which goes back into masculinity. Going back into the topic with Lizzo. See, with masculinity, most masculine men on a certain level, matter of fact, let's keep it real. Think of all the most powerful men, your best athletes, your highest level actors, all of these big rap stars. You're not going to see them with a Lizzo on their arm. You're going to see them with a form-fitting woman, you know what I'm saying, with a nice face. You're going to see that. They never go after those larger women. So what I'm trying to say is they're going to push down masculinity or something that women are going to desire to basically a man that women's going to desire to get us to be like, no, lower your standards and just accept anything. Because if you accept anything, then what you're really saying is I'm not really worth that. So they don't want men to see themselves as great.
And one of those things where that was pointed out and stated was, hey, let's stop saying it's okay to be like that, because let's be honest, it is a health factor. It is a health concern. Yeah. We need to start saying, hey man, you probably want to take care of yourself more, but having the wrong people around you can cost you your life. Because from my understanding, she was trying to make an attempt to get more in shape, be more fit.
They blasted her for that.
And
she
they
lost like
blasted
5
her for
pounds.
That.
She lost like 5 or 10 pounds, and she, she showed it on social media, and they gave her hell for it.
Right, and that's horrible. But listen, I said this before, we live in a world where it's criminal, a crime to tell the truth, and it's a crime to tell the truth about history. These are the things we can't do. The truth is offensive now. But I don't want to stay on Lizzo. I do want to get back to the skit going wrong. And it kind of led us to that situation, because it's kind of it's hypocrisy that, okay, well, let's jump on this particular situation. One, we don't know the facts that there are no charges pending. Two, the courts kicked the thing out of court, a settlement for whatever. But although there was a settlement, it was still dismissed with prejudice. That means a lot. You can't even refile this thing. And three, it's like we're watching other celebrities and other movies that are doing the same thing or even hinting at the same thing, but we're not saying anything about that. You're still buying those tickets. You ain't turning your TV off.
I think it's the public opinion thing. Like, as long as the public opinion is high, you're good. It goes back to if you're special, if you're famous. If it would have been somebody like a Kevin Hart at this moment, or when Jim Carrey was at his highest, certain people, they do certain things, they can get away with it because they love you. But if they don't love you anymore, if they got a problem with you, if you're a has-been, then people will they will throw you under the bus real quick. They'll drop you like you ain't never exist.
Right. Remember what Aries Spears said at on I think it was his closing statement. He said, I spoke with my manager. He said, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? He said, because you can't be both. Right. And remember, he said, because he's always, spoken out on the thing, on things to be right, it's closed a lot of doors for him. So I'm saying that to say, everyone wanted to drag Aries Spears through the mud for this particular situation. And there has been, now this was just a skit. There are people that are doing this in real life. It's not a skit. There are people that are doing this in real life because the whole skit was about, be careful who you leave your kids around. Okay. That could be uncles. He was the uncle. There are people in this world today that are leaving their kids with, especially like Hollywood children stars that were left with their agents and managers and these people and producers, and these people to this day you can research like, oh yeah, a lot of these people were minor attracted persons. I don't know what words are going to censor here, so I need to be careful.
Like R. Kelly?
Not just him, but absolutely. But a lot of child actors this has happened to. I'll give you another perfect example, Epstein Island and everybody that was connected to that. But that kind of gets swept under the rug. But y'all want to lynch and burn at the stake Aries Spears over a skit gone wrong.
We still don't know who all was on the island either, because they haven't released the names, and they won't.
But maybe they turned into donkeys like on Pinocchio.
Yeah,
that there is my point, because I absolutely agree. It was a poor taste skit, but you're dragging this individual through the mud over something that people are doing in real life.
And here's the thing,
I just kind of like let it go.
I just looked up on Google. Just Google this. Celebrities. Let's just use celebrities, because this, it happens. You can't Google everybody, but let's use celebrities. Celebrities who date underage women. Watch how long this list is, right? Why is it okay? Why isn't and I hate to say this, But I didn't see too many brothers on that list. R. Kelly probably was one in for enough of all cover a good number of people, but
He definitely was.
I ain't really see I didn't really see too many brothers on this list. But no one's saying anything about that. Now, again, let's paint this picture. We are not saying the skit was not in poor taste. I saw the skit. I was like, yeah, no. But listen, he addressed it. They went through the courts. The courts threw it out. The allegations were retracted. There are no more. It's going at this point as far as the situation itself. Now, if we want to say, well, he still did it. Yeah, he put himself in that position. We're not going to defend that. But how are you going to sit there and crucify someone because they did a skit like Darash just stated? But yet, if you go Google all of these celebrities who I'm sure you watch on TV every single day, they're dating 16-year-olds when they're 40.
Some are younger than that. Some
are younger than
12,
that.
like child, not teenagers, child stars that have dealt with this. There's a
Nickelodeon.
on Sky News. There's an what do they call it? Documentary. There's a short documentary on Sky News that talk about children's stars who had agents that were attracted to them and did inappropriate sexual things with them. And that is a normal thing in Hollywood. And they've also silenced a lot of the people from it. But we know that this is going on.
Right.
Hey, when I first got on Twitter,
we're going to wrap it after this because that's the end of this segment. Let's make it quick. We are out of time.
Okay. Now I was going to say, when I first got on Twitter, I remember seeing the situation between Chris Brown and Raz B from B2K. That was a situation where their manager, and again, I'm not confirming it, but I know what was being said back and forth in the exchange was like, hey, he's been, touching on us. So
the point is, let's just, if we're going to hold one person accountable, let's hold everyone accountable. And at this point, this is where we are. We're going to either tell the truth about everybody. We're not going to say anything about anybody. So with that being said, we are out of time. We're about to get out of here. Any closing words before we go? We're going to start with Tiara.
Yeah, well, my name is Tiara. I am the founder of Mamas at Home. You can find me at mamasathome.com, where I help women with homemaking, recipes, homeschooling, and everything related to home life. I enjoyed this conversation.
All right. Now, listen, I hate to give her a compliment. This is going to hurt. Let me go deep inside and do this. She be cooking, y'all. She can cook. When I'm say cooking, I mean like when you Google a picture of some food, it'll like somebody painted it. That's what she prepares. So y'all might want to go over there and check that out. I just got a headache and a heartache.
That's the first compliment ever. I'm so proud.
A headache and a heartache.
And it might be the last. Darash, go ahead, man.
Man, I just appreciate this. I'm still, there's some things that's under construction as far as my fitness page and everything, but I just want to say I definitely appreciate this. You guys, make sure that you're liking the channel, you subscribe to it, hit that notification bell, and make sure that you're sharing the content. Definitely. More than all of that, make sure you're sharing the content, because the more that you share, the more people watch it, the more people tune in, the better the algorithm gets. And we're doing these current events and this information for you guys. So you guys make sure y'all tune in with us. It's been another amazing podcast, another amazing show. That's all I got.
Tasha, the ball is in your court.
Awesome. So
don't backpedal.
I greatly appreciate it. It's been another great conversation with the panel. I do want to let everyone know this upcoming tax season, you need your taxes done. Please feel free to reach out. You can send me an email at the Inside the Nation Radio website. You're still kind of getting all the logistics straightened out, but you're interested in getting your taxes done. Don't hesitate to reach back out to me here at the email address. You can find it on the website again for Inside the Nation Radio.
Sound like your audio cut out there for a second.
Yeah, I peeped that. I don't know if she got it. I guess I'll go while she's going until it comes back. Basically,
she over there talking up a storm too.
Yeah, I see her still going.
All right, are you back? Your audio went out for a quick second.
I am. I'm back now. We're going to attack our Black men because they cannot have a voice. They're going to do as we say when we say, and how we say to do it is no longer going to be tolerated.
Awesome. Yeah, that has to go.
Hey,
I'm with you.
And right there, they just attacked the Black woman. They ain't let her have a voice right now. So
she got attacked by Zoom. Real good. Go ahead, Rick.
Nah, but like I said, RickJudah, I have a podcast and run my church, my congregation here. congregation, the church at Louisville. I have a YouTube page for that. And of course, also as far as my podcast channel, Talk That Truth Radio, and try to do a live show every Sunday. And of course, I'm actually working on getting more recordings done throughout the week so we can actually get more and more content put out there. But I'm definitely working on that. But the page just has a few shows on there already. Get started.
All right, there you have it. All of their links will be in the description section. Make sure you get it. Hey, great show, and we're looking forward to the next one. Make sure y'all tune in. We have Dr. Boyce Watkins interview. We have the New Breed Global Truth interview. Make sure you get those. And we're working on a few more. We're working on Boosie, Reza Islam, and the list goes on, right? So make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the gray bell so you can be notified so you don't miss any of the content of this awesome podcast. We the dopest podcast online. I don't care what nobody say. Don't miss the content. Hey, hit that subscribe button. With that being said, we out of here. Peace.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Inside the Nation Radio, your go-to for the latest happenings and the best discussions. Be sure to tune in next time, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Goodbye.